Property taxes are exploding, and cash for keys will be coming soon. And today we're going to get right into it. Now, it is sunny out now, which is why I'm putting on my sunglasses because it is way too bright. But we've got a storm right outside the Gulf, and we are expected to have some pretty rainy weather for the next few days. So trying to take advantage of the beautiful sunshine right now. But let's get right into it because there has been a tremendous amount of fear and uncertainty that's out there in the market, and that I get phone calls on from people just like you on a regular basis that are concerned about the insurance rate, property insurance rates having skyrocketed. They're concerned about their property taxes being too expensive and getting reset and not being able to afford the home that they're in right now due to the fact that both the cost for home insurance, property insurance, or the taxes on their home have become completely unaffordable. And so while they may be in a position where they're sitting on a tremendous amount of equity, the distress that they're feeling financially is starting to have an impact on their decision-making process. And if you've been watching for a while, you know that I've been talking about the distress that exists for the consumer, the financial distress that many folks are feeling right now. Because the truth is, right now, there are a lot of folks out there that are high income earners. In my market, there are lots of people out there that with combined incomes are able to maintain a very nice lifestyle. And so if you've got a couple and each of them makes $100,000, well, then you've got a $200,000 lifestyle. And you can play games with the numbers. If you both make $250,000, well, then you've got a $500,000 lifestyle. And if you both make $1 million, well, then you've got a $2 million lifestyle. And depending on how financially prudent and disciplined you are, you may be in a great position to afford whatever you want. But I know a lot of folks that live above their means and make a significant amount of money. But if you make $1 million combined and you spend $1.1 million, well, I got news for you. You're not wealthy. You're in debt. And if you're living on the margins of what you can financially afford, you are in trouble. So one of the first things that I do when I'm consulting with someone who's thinking about buying or selling a home is I want to get granular into the terms of what their financial condition is. I want to run the numbers as to what the taxes will be when they buy the home. And I also want them to get several different insurance quotes so they don't get sticker shock. I don't want anybody to be financially surprised about the decisions that they make. And while right now, I don't think there is a tremendous amount of personal financial distress that will fundamentally change the supply of homes that are available for sale today, I know plenty of people, couples, that earn a tremendous amount of income that are living right on the margins of what they can actually afford. How many people do you know that live above their means? There are lots of folks in my market and around the country that are keeping up with the Joneses and that are living above their means. And you can probably get away with that in an economy that's roaring. And you could probably get away with that when the stock market is ripping. But I don't think you can get away with it the same way when the markets crash and when the economy tanks. And to be clear, the government can do lots of things to stimulate the economy and juice the numbers, which will continue to create positive news, positive data, a positive thing they can point to make the bubbly market even more bubbly. And despite the fact that the fundamentals, in my opinion, are not intact, it doesn't matter what I think about the fundamentals. The truth is, if there is no supply and there is tremendous demand, well, then whatever the market for that thing is going higher. And people will not take action until they are in pain, until the distress that they're feeling creates enough pain for them to be forced to take action. And in the interim, I think a lot of people are going to do whatever they must do to continue to sustain their lifestyle. And I'm terrified that a lot of folks are going to take what they think is the easy way out because they think that the market only goes in one direction. And I'm talking about all markets. But there's a lot of folks out there that are considering using their house as a piggy bank. They're considering drawing down the equity in the house to live off of. There are plenty of folks out there that are thinking about taking from their retirement accounts, their 401ks, their pensions, their whatever. They're thinking about withdrawing that money and getting a major tax consequence because of it, although the government is going to make it easier for you to access that, and they may remove the penalties completely. They might make it very easy for people to obtain that money. And I often ask myself, why would they do that? Is this done intentionally so that we can be more dependent on them? I don't know. I sure hope not, but it certainly feels that way. But as of today, Sunday, as I'm making this video, I just got an email talking about the taxable property values are up 13% to 289 billion in Palm Beach County amid hot market, new construction. And this increase is one of the highest in the last 25 years. 25 years. So if you thought that the taxes you were paying were unaffordable, wait until they reset due to this unbelievable appreciation which has occurred. Because the government, and I'm talking about the US government right now, is broke. They don't have any more money, and their credit worthiness is terrible. And if you think the municipalities are better governed or better managed than the US government, I got news for you. Most of them are not. They're worse. And they need the tax base and tax revenue in order to sustain themselves. And while this article is calling for the local governments to trim their tax rates to keep the bills from rising, I don't think that's a very likely scenario to play out. I think a lot of folks are going to be getting a much higher tax bill. And to be clear, it's not just going to be the municipality. The government is going to raise taxes too, because the government does not earn income. They generate revenues from taxes from people just like you and me. And so today we're going to talk about what the taxable property values are in Palm Beach County. And to be abundantly clear, the last time the market crashed, the real estate market crashed, it was after the great financial crisis. It was after the stock market had gotten destroyed. It took a long time for that to play into the bottom of housing. But if you've been watching for a while, you know that I've been talking about the fact that real estate is a lagging measure. And last time, it took a long time for housing to catch up and for home values to reset. But it only took 10% of the overall sales to be in distress to bring down the market by 30% on a national level. And I don't suspect that we're going to see that form of distress in terms of housing. But I would be shocked if we don't see personal financial stress hitting a record high and forcing the supply of homes significantly higher much sooner than last time. And while record unemployment numbers just came out, I'm here to tell you, I don't trust them at all. And I suspect when unemployment is closer to 10%, which the bond market is pricing in right now, I suspect unemployment is going to have a major impact on the housing market. Because when one or both of the people who are paying for the mortgage lose their job, they won't be forced to sell from the bank. They'll be forced to sell because they have to. And while it's true that may take some time to actually be realized, in the interim, taxable property values are up 13% to damn near $290 billion in Palm Beach County. And a lot of that has to do with new construction in Boca Raton and Palm Beach Gardens, because the two combined added more than $1.1 billion into Palm Beach County's tax base in 2022. And all but three of the county's 39 municipalities registered increases of more than 10% as the county's total taxable property value approached $300 billion due to the fact that real estate has been on fire in Palm Beach County. We have had record appreciation. and we've had record levels of new construction. And what I hope you can see by looking at the chart on the screen is that Westlake has increased in terms of taxable value in 2023 compared to 2022 by damn near 53%. And you can look at the chart and see for yourself that the taxable value has increased across the board in Cloud Lake, Glen Ridge, Tequesta, Mangonia Park, Village of Golf, Haverhill, Juno Beach, Lantana, and Belle Glade. We're talking about massive double-digit taxable increases in 2023, which is a long way of saying if you're a homeowner in one of these markets and you were counting on 2022's taxable values in order to determine what you're likely to pay in the future, chances are you're off by 53% in Westlake. That's a big hit. And if you're living on the margins of what you can afford right now, that increase will likely force you to be in financial distress. It will create pain for a lot of folks who did not budget accordingly. And I know that's not everybody, but it's going to be a lot of people because taxes have skyrocketed. And please don't think that you're alone if you happen to be in a different market, because Jupiter, Hypoluxo, South Bay, Boca Raton, Wellington, Royal Palm Beach, Royal Beach Shores, Lake Clark Shores, Atlantis, and Riviera Beach have all exploded too. Meanwhile, in April, in Palm Beach County, home prices dropped by 3%. And while homeowners are still sitting on a metric shit ton of equity, that was April. We're in June. What will the future most likely bring? Yet to be determined. I don't know, but I sure have shared a heck of a lot in the past talking about what I suspect will likely happen soon. And to be clear, each market will trade differently, so I'm not trying to scare anybody, but you must be prepared and also be aware. And to be clear, most residential property tax bills will not rise anywhere close to the 53% that Westlake saw. And that's due to the fact that the state law caps the increase in taxable value to 3% for homesteaded properties. But many folks who have multiple homes and don't have their home in Florida homestead are going to be looking at a 10% increase. And while I have shared a lot in the past about the fact that there is a scarcity of land in my market and there is tremendous demand, this is proof positive that everything I've said is in fact true. Because after Boca Raton, the town of Palm Beach had the second highest value at damn near $29 billion, an increase of 13.4%. But West Palm Beach had an increase of 15%, as did Palm Beach Gardens. Delray Beach had a 13% increase. Jupiter had a 12% increase. And Wellington came in at 11.5% increase, damn near 12. And while it's yet to be determined where the value of homes will trade in the future, I know for certain if the consumer, if the homeowner is having difficulty paying for their property taxes or paying for their home insurance now, that is likely to get much worse. And if the government continues to play the games that they're playing to juice the market, home values are likely to continue higher, which is very unlikely to create short sales or distress sales caused by a bank. But it's exponentially more likely that the homeowner who is now facing financial distress will opt to sell their home. And if there's a major uptick in supply because a lot of people are feeling that same pain at the same time, and mortgage interest rates are significantly higher than they are today, chances are demand is going to be significantly less, which is a long way of saying property values are going to tank. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Now, I hope you found this content valuable. And if you did, please subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend. If you're even thinking about buying or selling, please reach out because we would love to help. Check me out on Twitter where I can never be censored, and check out my next video because I suspect you will love it a lot. And until next time, peace.